Good evening and welcome everybody. It is Thursday. Thirsty Thursday. How are we doing today? My name is Jesse and welcome to Questionable Sports. Woo! I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go today. I'm all jacked up on Mountain Dew. Actually, I did have a Mountain Dew today. Not supposed to be drinking sodas, but I didn't even finish it. But you know how we start off the show every day? Here we go. Cheers to you. I don't know if you can see that because of the camera. There we go. Because it's clear too. Here we go. How you doing today, Mom? Thank you for joining the show. Excuse me. All right. What do we have on task today? That's what we're going to talk about. Let's see what we're going to talk about today. First of all, welcome. Welcome to Mikasa. I know you can't see it. I got this background here because I don't want you to see Mikasa. But you can welcome to me. I know the camera, I got to sit right so the camera can catch me. I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on it, guys. Don't worry. Okay, I'm going to work on it. Anyways, we're also going to talk about who is Washington. We're going to about tonight's games, NFL games. We're going to talk about. I'll pick a couple of them just as throw who I want to win, who I want to lose. Saturday game. We're going to talk about Saturday's game. Scotty's going to join. You know who he's always got something to say. He's always yelling at me. We got the question of the day, and we also got my favorite segment. Put a shot on it. I love that. Hold on. There we go. I had to change the I had a little echo on my headphones. And then of course it's my show, so I always have the last words. So starting off, how's everybody doing today? I see I already got a couple of viewers already checking me out. Don't check me out. Watching. That's the better word. I got a couple of viewers already watching. But anyways, let's talk about Washington. I'm not going to talk about the Cowboys too much. It's just painful. It's just painful. So let's just be real with ourselves. Let's just take accountability. Cowboys ain't going to be great this year. They may not be great next year. But I feel like this team is going to be something maybe 2 years from now. That's what I'm put my money on 2 years from now. And you never know. Let's remember, like we thought when the Rangers a couple of years ago before they won the World Series, they weren't even going to. They were talking about how they weren't going to make the playoffs. They're like they're a year or two away from making the playoffs or even competing for the World Series. And what happened that year that we thought that they won the World Series? This year, of course, I can't even talk right now. Of course, they are trying. Cowboys are trying to at least have a decent season. Let's just say, but I just don't see it happening right now. Um, but again, let's talk about who Washington is. So a lot of y'all who don't have been watching Washington, I haven't really watching the team either. So I can't really sit there and be like, oh, this team is good at this team is great at that. But I will give you who they have on their team, what their stats are, and what I think of the team as just how they're going to do against the Cowboys. So starting off with their quarterback, Jaden Daniels out of LSU, who is a hell of a quarterback. I watched him in college, and you're going to always hear me when I know about a player from college. I'll talk about him and how they were in college. A great player. He had the legs. He can move around. He had the arms. They could throw. He could throw about a 70, 75-yard pass throw in the air. Just it would go, and it makes it look so effortless. It just um, but he has 2,338 yards, 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But like I said, he's a good quarterback, young. But for him being so young, he doesn't turn the ball over that often. With 3 interceptions, that's good for a young quarterback. Look at Caleb Williams. I don't even know his stats, but if you look at his stats, they ain't nothing compared to him. And I said this coming out of the draft. I know I actually had a lot of people watch my drafts episode, but it was on Twitch, not on YouTube. This year, it will be on YouTube. But I did have I talked about how I feel like Jaleb Daniels was a better quarterback than Caleb Williams, and it's showing. I'm not saying that Caleb Williams is going to be a bad quarterback in the future, but starting off as the LSU scheme was a more pro style scheme, whereas Caleb Williams' scheme was more of a look at the sideline, check with the coach to tell you what to do. So he never had to read a defense, where Jaden Daniels did have to kind of read a defense. And on top of that, he did play against great defense in the SEC. So you're playing against Alabama, Georgia, and you're putting up those numbers like that in the SEC. That's telling you you're a pretty damn good quarterback. So he's a great runner. He can run, and we've seen how many times he's run the ball already. He gets out of the pocket, so that's going to be something that the Cowboys are going to have to probably spy the quarterback, maybe overshown, just or don't have Parsons run up the field all the time. Maybe kind of it sucks because you're not going to have Parsons like rushing straight at him, because he's got to make sure he doesn't get out of the pocket. So it's got to slow Parsons down just a little bit, but we'll see how that goes. They don't have a great line, so I think there's going to be opportunity for the Cowboys to get some sacks, to get some penetration. So, but we'll see how they do against the quarterback. They've done pretty well. They did it pretty well against Lamar Jackson, so let's hope we can do good against Daniels as well. The running back is Brian Robertson. He has 524 yards, 7 touchdowns. He's a good running back. We've seen him before. It's not like he's brand new. He was there last couple of years. He's a good running back. He'll get the small yards. He'll get the short yardage. He's a short yardage back who can break. He don't have this like top end speed where he's going to outrun anybody, but he'll get some good yards. Cowboys might have some problems. That's where they struggle. Any running back that can run inside the tackles. So it sucks, having to say that because it just kind of says how soft your team is, but it is what it is. The receivers, Terry McLaurin, we've all seen him. McLaurin. I'm thinking of McLean from Die Hard. McLaurin, he has 721 yards, 6 touchdowns. Great receiver. He can run. He's got speed. But the last couple of years, who's been shutting him down? Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon struggled a little bit this year right now, but I still think he can still shut him down. He has shut him down in the past. But let me just say this. That was before Terry McLaurin has a quarterback. This is the first kind of quarterback that's willing to throw the ball deep. All the other quarterbacks he had didn't throw the ball deep a lot. So we'll see. And right now it's showing. Trayvon Diggs is shown to be struggling defending the deep ball, that's what's been his strong point. So we'll see how that turns out. They also average 148 yards on the ground, which is 4th in the NFL, which is crazy, because a lot of people, a lot of teams don't run the ball that often. So for them to be ranked 4th, I mean, I'm sure you have the Ravens up there, and maybe who has a good running team? Maybe the Chargers. Teams like that who run the ball pretty well. Chiefs might be up. The Chiefs have a pretty good running game. I'm not sure who's on the top 4, but I know who the 4th one is, and we know the Ravens are up there, probably number 1. But yeah, they're 6th on the ground. They're 28 in points and 4th in the league in points. So they score 28 points a game, which that means their offense is pretty damn good. So that's going to be a tough task for the Cowboys defense. Is Bland done for the season? I'm guessing. I haven't heard anything about him playing. I guess this foot injury is worse than they thought. So that kind of sucks because he's a good player and the Cowboys really need him out there. But, it is what it is. We'll see if he can come back this year or not. But if there's going to be a point where I think the Cowboys are going to have to sit there and think, we might need to sit our stars, and not get them hurt. Because there's just no reason for them to go out there and injure themselves for the rest of the season or be out, tear ACL, won't be able to play next year for a while, So there might be an opportunity or a time where the Cowboys may have to sit there and think, what? It's time for the sit the starters. Let's just play everybody else, tank the season. I hate to say that because I hate, tanking. I want to go out there and win every game. You know what? I'm gonna say this, and I'm not trying to brag, and I'm not trying to be a dickhead, but I've never been part of a losing team, so I don't know what it's like to sit there and be like, "Let's tank it," or I don't care. Every team I've ever been a part of, we've always had a winning record. So I mean, again, I'm not in the NFL and I'm not in college, but like I said, I just never been part of that. What's the word I'm looking for? That kind of atmosphere or that kind of attitude towards sports. I always had that attitude when you go out there to win and play. So That's why, like I said a couple of years ago with the Mavericks, I was just kind of like, I was pissed because when they tanked the season, when they had opportunity to make the playoffs and they didn't. So I don't know what it's like to be in a team that's doesn't win. You know, I'm a competitor just like everybody else is. I'm sure everybody's a competitor. I know everybody out there in the NFL who play the game of sports, you know, are competitors. Um, but now let's talk about the defense for Washington. Washington's defense is good, not great. They're not great. They're not going to sit here and they're not going to be no Chiefs defense or no Ravens defense or a team like that. But they are a good defense. You know, they got Dan Quinn. We all know what Dan Quinn can do to a team. He did it to the Cowboys, so we'll see how that turns out. But Bobby Wagner is the leader of the defense. He has 91 tackles. Dante Fowler, y'all remember him? He was the defensive end here last year, but he was a backup. He's the leading team with sacks with 8.5. They do have 4 interceptions and 6 forced fumbles or fumble recoveries. So they don't turn the ball. That's 10 turnovers. That's not as much as the Cowboys has had last year. I think the Cowboys are about right there too, about 10. So it's going to be a tough game for the Cowboys. But I'm a Cowboys fan. I ride and die. So I'm going to say Cowboys are going to win, like I always do. So that's it about the Cowboys in Washington. You know, there's not much to talk about. I haven't heard about anybody not playing or not anybody not gonna on the injured list that hadn't already been there yet. So, but moving right along, we got tonight's games. Whoop whoop. So tonight's game in the NBA, we got the Pistons and Hornets at 6 o'clock on NBA TV. Also, the Magic and the Lakers at 9:30. They didn't have a channel, so I guess it's only gonna be a local game if you have the Magics or Orlando or in LA. So I guess we're not gonna be able to watch it unless you have that NBA package where you can watch every game. NFL games, you got the Steelers and Browns tonight, which should be starting here in about 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute actually. You got Cowboys in Washington on Sunday at 12 on Fox. So if y'all still want to watch the Cowboys, I'm still going to watch it. I'm a diehard Cowboys fan. I don't care win or lose. I'm going to watch them. Oh, did he catch that interception? I'm over here. I got the North Carolina State and Georgia Tech game on right now. Game is tied 7-7 with 2 minutes left in the first. NHL, the Stars do not play today. Mavs don't play either, by the way. They play tomorrow night at 9 o'clock against the Denver Nuggets on ESPN. So, and they're probably going to be on a local channel too as well. So if you want to watch the Mavs game tomorrow night. Stars as well play tomorrow night, but I don't have that information. Panthers and Blackhawks play tonight at 7:30 on Hulu. So if you're an NHL fan, you can watch some hockey on Hulu. Any of the other hockey games are on ESPN Plus. You know what's crazy? They always say Stars games on ESPN Plus too, but when I get on ESPN Plus, because I have ESPN Plus, it always says blackout. It pisses me off. I can't stand it. NHL needs to get their shit together. That's why nobody watches their sport, because they can't get their shit together. College football is only one game on. North Carolina State and Georgia Tech. It says it's been Georgia Tech. I'm sorry, I missed the Tech part. It's not just Georgia. It's Georgia Tech. They're playing right now. Like I said, Georgia Tech is up. Oh, it's tied 7-7. So, and the interception was not an interception. I said the guy went up with the one hand. And he couldn't bring it down. So that's all I got for tonight's game. I'm not sure if any of y'all going to be watching anything. I don't know. Cleveland was 2-8. Yeah, Cleveland is not great. Their quarterback got hurt. They got wins. No, but they did beat the Ravens. I think they beat the Ravens last couple of weeks ago. So it's just crazy, the NFL. I don't think it was the Ravens though. Who was it? It was a good team they beat, but I can look it up later on. But yeah, they're 2-8. They're not a great team right now. And what's crazy is they protected them and the Bengals, who are not having a great season, to be. I think Bengals are 4-5 to be in the playoffs. And yeah, it's not going great for the Cleveland Browns. So it should be down. The temperature is 32 degrees and it feels like 26 in Cleveland, Ohio. Dang, that's crazy. That's football weather for you. But what we got next? Tonight's game. Oh, NFL games. NFL games. Some of the games I'm looking forward to, keeping an eye out for. The Lions and the Colts, the 9-1 Lions versus the 5-6 Colts at 12 o'clock on Fox. At the same time as the Cowboys, so it's going to be, here locally, we're going to be watching the Cowboys game. So you're not going to be able to watch that game. But, you can keep an eye on it, look at the tracker, see how they're doing. So I'm interested in the Lions. And next week, when on Thanksgiving, everybody's going to be nationwide, you know how it is on Thanksgiving with the Lions. Everybody's going to finally see what the Lions are going to be, how they are, and what it's going to be about. So that's interesting. That's fun. So hopefully the Lions, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm rooting for the Lions to win, all the time. But what I am going to say is if they do and they get to the Super Bowl, I would love to, cheer for them at the Super Bowl. I just feel like it would be great for the town, the city, the city. So that'd be great because I don't think they never won a Super Bowl. I don't think they've even been past close to the Super Bowl. I know they've been to the playoffs. They won one game and they'll probably do one and out. But yeah, so that's interesting to see how the Lions are. They're 9-1, so they're playing pretty damn good. They put up 52 points last week against the Jacksonville. That's crazy. Another game is the Bucks and the Giants. The 4-6 Bucks against the 2-8 Giants. That's at 12 o'clock CBS. The only reason I put that game down, I wanted to watch it. There's not a lot of great games this week. Actually, when I was looking at the schedule to see, there's a lot of mixed matches. 2-8, like basically like this, 2-8 versus 4-6, or 5-5 versus an 8 and something. So this could either be it's going to be like the teams you expect to win are going to win, or there are going to be some upsets. But when it comes to NFL, I don't really think if they're upsets because they're NFL players, they're NFL teams. So they're the best of the best. But I just kind of hope rooting for the Bucks there. If Scott was here, he would say that he'll think the Bucks are going to win too, even though he's a Giants fan. So the other game, I got 49ers Packers. They always seem to put a good game on. That one is at 3:25 on Fox. The 5-5 49ers, 5-5 49ers. That's crazy. Against the 7-3 Packers. Packers got away with one last week with beating the Bears with that blocked field goal at the end, but 49ers are struggling. It's crazy. It's not the same team right now. I don't know if it's I know it's injuries. I know they've been having injuries and stuff like that, but it's just crazy. They can't get it put together. What's up going on, Kareem? Thank you for joining. I think this Cleveland game is going to be close. Don't be surprised if they win. You know what it is? I think you're saying that it's because you don't like Mike Tomlin. You think he's a terrible coach. No, I'm just playing, Kareem. I'm kind of agreeing with you. I'm going to agree with you with that because Pittsburgh's offense is kind of struggling. They're kind of struggling, but Cleveland's offense they're great. They're not great. Whoa, hold on. They're good, but who am I talking about? Cleveland. But Jameis Winston just always throws those interceptions at the wrong time. He had a great game last week, three touchdowns, but he also threw 3 interceptions. So you can't do that. But yeah, I thought it was Baltimore. I was like, nah, I was second guessing myself. That's what I get for second guessing myself. You think 49ers windows closing, or you just think they're just having bad luck? I'm saying right now, I think they're having bad luck. Well, it's going to be hard for next year for them. But this year, I'm just going to say they're having bad luck. But next year, it's going to be hard because they got to sign their quarterback. They just got to sign their cornerback, Lindor. And they just signed Debo. So, I don't know. I feel like I'm just talking about right now, this year, I just think 49ers is just, having bad luck. Now, next year, I believe maybe their windows may be closing. But you just never know. They could draft somebody out of nowhere. Yeah. Well, especially with the running back, Christian McCaffrey, when, with him being hurt. And they actually saying that he doesn't have a couple of, a lot of years left in him. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting. The last game I got for ESPN, I'm sorry, NFL, is the Ravens Chargers. you know, the brothers facing off. It's going to be 7-4 Ravens against the 7-3 Chargers at 7:15 on Monday Night Football. The Harbaugh brothers are facing off, which I think is actually going to be a good game. Should be interesting. I'm interested to see how the Chargers play against the Ravens. Same with the Ravens. I'm see how they're going to play against the Chargers. And you know what's crazy with the Ravens is there's some weeks where they look like, man, they're going to be tough to beat, and then they play like they played last week. You know, it's just like how just makes you just question yourself, not yourself, but question what's going on in Baltimore. And that's not a bad, you know, they don't have a bad record. They're not a bad team. It's just you got a great. I feel like you have a great team. Yeah, Chargers are quietly good. I actually been, you know, because I became lately, especially when he was in Michigan, I've becoming a Jim Harbaugh fan. I just think he's kind of quirky, kind of weird, but a good kind of quirky weird. You know, not like psycho kind of quirky weird. If you know what I mean. If you understand what I'm saying. I don't know if you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth. So, but is there any other games that y'all interested in? You know, Cowboys, Redskins. We talked about that already. There's some there might be some other games that might be, I guess, interesting. Eagles. I'm trying to think who they're playing. And then one thing about the Eagles, they have a great offense. Their defense is kind of shaky, but it's hard. It's hard to stop that running game, and on top of that, have to stop Devontae Smith and Steelers missed the field goal. They gonna lose this game now. Hey, I don't know if you heard me, but it's like 32 degrees over there in Cleveland. You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. Is it snowing there? Is it snowing there, babe? Hey, what's snowing there? Huh? Yeah. Um. What I'm saying? Oh, I said that's football weather. It says like feels like 26, and then I just saw this snowing. Oh, we are in football season. We are in holiday season. Best time of the year for me. But yeah, that's all I got for NFL. Anybody else got anything they want to say about the NFL before we move on? Browns are going to win. You know, I wouldn't doubt it. So let me ask y'all this. So, since this is questionable sports, and I'm asking y'all questions, what would you do with Deshaun Watson? You know, I mean, I'm not sure how many years he got left on his contract. I mean, he's stealing from the Cleveland Browns right now. So, I mean, what would y'all do? Cut him? Would y'all kind of try to trade him? Like, what would y'all do with Deshaun Watson? You know, I'm sitting here thinking about that, and I'm like, you don't have a great season. You could probably get a quarterback. I'm not gonna say I don't think you're gonna have the record to get. You might, man, no, because they're 2-8. But they can't win this game. They're trying to get Shadir Sanders. No, we can't get rid of Jerry Jones. We can't. I don't. Man, Don't get me started on going on Jerry Jones. Come on now. It's gonna run me and everybody else hot in this motherfucker. Everybody's going. You got me cussing because I'm already just thinking about it. Getting me mad. So I guess we're gonna be moving on. Scotty should be joining pretty soon. Not sure when he's gonna be joining, but when he does, you saw a mock draft that Cleveland's going for Travis Hunter. Hey, yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait to talk about the draft, and we'll get to that. Me and Scotty has actually talked about when we're gonna put that episode. We're gonna do a kind of like a draft episode. Kind of go through what each team will probably draft. Not gonna sit there and say we know because I don't know shit, but I do know is I know what I want the Cowboys to draft. That's what I do know. But if he goes to Cleveland, that'd be awesome. I mean, Travis Hunter, he's going to be a great player in the NFL. He needs to bulk up a little bit, get a little bit of meat on his bones. But I mean, if he plays defensive back, it doesn't matter. If he plays receiver, it really doesn't matter. He just needs to. I mean, that's one thing that's crazy. Like, if you watched again, I'm not sure how many of y'all watched the Colorado games. He will come up and tackle. He's not just like, most corners who don't like to tackle. He will come and hit you in the mouth. He will sit there. He's not scared to tackle. So that's just like, dang. Now maybe when he goes against Derrick Henry, it'd be a whole different ball game because everybody's scared to tackle Derrick Henry. But just think about that. This kid can play receiver at a high level. Who, if he wants to go receiver, he'll be ranked. Receiver. He'd be probably ranked number 1, number 2 receiver. If he wants to go defensive back, he's going to be ranked the number 1 defensive back. How great can you be that you can play 2 different positions and be ranked number 1? You know what I mean? That's freaking crazy. That's fucking awesome. And that's why, to me, I feel like he is the Heisman hopeful, the Heisman leader. What do you think about the QB that committed to Colorado? I haven't. There one committed to Colorado this week. It might give Deion a reason to stay. I know Deion said he wants to stay, but I mean, he hasn't heard Florida State's offer yet. And then he can always have that quarterback flip to Florida State too. But did y'all hear about that quarterback that flipped from LSU to Michigan because they offered him $10 million in NIL deal? Did y'all hear about that one? Number 1 ranked quarterback. He was committed to LSU, and they came out. How is this not tampering? If you're already committed to LSU, and they came out and said, if you flip to Michigan, we'll give you $10 million in NIL deal. Is that not like tampering? Can they still do that? Oh, today he was going to USC and he flipped over to Colorado? That's crazy. How come they can't bring Watson to the... No! What? Why would you want Watson? Had you not seen the games he played? He's terrible. No, he's not. He's another Lance. Cooper Rush had a good game this past week. I think he had a good game. The strip fumble, that kind of sucked. And he did throw some drop short balls. They could have probably been completed. But other than that, they're moving the ball. It's just when they got down to the red zone, they just couldn't put the points up. And then they went for it on that 4th and 3 when they should have just kicked the field goal and got the points. Took the points and be down by 7, but instead they didn't get it. They're still down by 10. They had that strip fumble because the defense just right after that stopped the offense again, and then they got the ball back, and that's when they did the strip fumble, and then they scored. Houston scored, and then that was it. Ball game. Mom, Cream said, he said, "Tell your mom I love her," but hell no. I'm telling you, no. I was like, I don't know. Stop looking at TikTok, Facebook, whatever you're looking at. They're wrong. All these. I mean, they're not gonna say they want you to look at what what they're saying. They want you to say Deion's coming to. They want you to click on that so you can read or get the. I can sit there and put that stuff too and say Deion's coming to Dallas, but then I'll be lying. And they're like, oh, well, I was going to explain to you how the Cowboys can get Deion, or I can explain, no, he's not coming. Oh, I just see it right here, Cream, on the bottom on the ticker. He just said that the quarterback's name switched to Colorado. That's crazy that you mentioned it. It pops up on the bottom. But anyways, moving right along, we are going to talk about college football now. It's Thursday. When it comes to Thursday, and what happens when I talk about college football. I get excited. Creating Mom, I'm pretty sure you see the chat. She says she loves you and hi. So I got actually, I'm gonna do like 4 games, but there's a lot of games going on this weekend that have big chances of fucking up everything. Or certain teams, if they win or they lose, can mess up their hope or give them the opportunity to get a better chance to get into the college playoff, or even uh, into their conference championship game. So the first game is Kentucky, Texas. Of course, I know a lot of y'all are Texas fans. So with that being said, I'm gonna say this: Texas has to win. Kentucky is no laydown. They're not gonna come in here and be like, they're not gonna go to Austin and be like, you know what, it's Texas. We're gonna just lay down and let them win because we don't give a shit. No, they could win today. Kentucky could win not today, Saturday, and then win next week. Then they become bowl eligible. Of course, they become bowl eligible, more money for the school, yada yada yada. But saying that, Texas got to come out, not just come in here and be like, all right, we're just going to win by 10 points like last week against Arkansas. They got to blow Kentucky out because the week after this, they're going to Texas A&M. And Texas A&M, they've been playing lights out. MySpace, what the heck? We talking about MySpace? Oh, you're getting your information from MySpace? Dang it. You're showing all of our ages. But yeah, Texas, and like I said, I'm rooting for Texas because I want them to win out. I want them to go to the SEC championship game because I think whoever they play in the SEC championship game is going to be a great game. I can't take a shot. I'm actually on call, so I didn't take one shot, but I'm not going to take no more after that because I am on call. So if I get a call, I gotta, like, if I'm sitting right now and the phone rings, I gotta stop what I'm doing. The show ends right there. I'm sorry, guys, gotta go. Phone rings, boom, that's it. So, but what happened to my screen? Let me see something real quick. Give me a second. I don't know what happened to my screen. But anyways, I mean, I know y'all can see me, but in my screen, it went black. So I don't want y'all to think we're having technical difficulties, but on my end, not on y'all's end. All right, there we go. So yeah, but Texas, because I've been saying this from, if you go back to episode 3 or 2 when we were talking about college football, that Texas A&M game is the most exciting game that the most game I'm like the most excited about the whole season, and this is big from the beginning. I'm excited. I can't wait for this game. It's gonna be not just now what this possibly gonna be, but just the fact of the tradition of what used to be. I mean, that's what I used to grow up watching, Texas A&M every year, and then that's what pissed me off with Texas A&M. I didn't like them at the get go, but then they jump up and leave. Oh man, fuck that. That pissed me off. They left to the SEC thinking they're going to be bigger and better than Texas, and they didn't do shit. And then Texas joined the SEC. Now Texas A&M want to be good. So I just hope Texas take care of business this week, and then go into next week with the momentum, can take care of business again. The next game, of course, I got to go talk about my Baylor Bears, and they're playing against Houston, the 6-4 Baylor Bear, who are bowl eligible, going against the 4-6 Houston. They play at 6:00. So of course I'll be watching that game. I'll have it on. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. Ooh, it's exciting, and I'm all jacked up for college football. But yeah, Baylor's been playing hella good the last 3. They have a 3-game winning streak. Imagine if they would have beat Colorado and not let Colorado get that Hail Mary on them, they'll be 7-3, and we'll be talking about them possibly having a chance to be in the Big 12 championship. Not saying they're going to be there, but there's still a chance for them to get there. And to be honest, at the beginning of the season, Baylor was projected to be at the bottom. They were probably like 3rd or 4th at the bottom, but now that Saturday night, it's not even. They don't have a time yet. That's a Texas game yet, and if they don't have a time, it's still it's a flex game, so they don't have a time yet. It's either going to be at 3 o'clock or at 6 o'clock. So it's still a flex time, and they probably won't announce it until after probably Sunday is when they're gonna have to announce it by then because they got to get everything going and put together. But yeah, I feel like it's gonna be a night game. It has to be, man. That's a prime time game. I feel like college game day is gonna be there. I think I heard Scotty just joined. But College Game Day is going to be there, I believe. Fox is going to be there. It better be the. But you know what's crazy? You know, I got a game on here that I'm gonna talk about. It's actually the next game I'm gonna talk about. And we'll talk about it right now. It's fuck it. We're gonna get. It's my show. We can talk about whenever. Hold on, Scotty. You just joined, right?
What's up? I'm here.
What's up, Scotty? How you doing today?
I'm good.
You know, you about to jump into me. Finna start ranting real quick. The Indiana Ohio State game. Great game. Great game. This is gonna be a great game. I'm not saying
I hope it's gonna be a great game.
It's gonna be a great game. Don't listen to Scotty.
Let's see.
And the reason I'm saying it's gonna be a great game. Jesus is going to be there too. He's going to be at the Texas A&M game. And the reason I say this is going to be a great game, you have a number 5 Indiana team, 10-0, going against Ohio State is 9-1, the number 2 ranked team. But they have it at 11 o'clock in the morning on Fox. I mean, I get it. You know, you don't want to compete with ESPN and their primetime game. But come on, you got to put that game on primetime. You know, a couple of weeks ago when Penn State and who was it, Scotty? Penn State and
Penn State's played several 11 o'clock games.
I know, but what was the one that was a big game? There was Penn State and somebody, and they had it at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, it was.
I can't. It was Penn State and it was a big game.
Was it Oregon?
It might have been Oregon, yeah. And Penn State, they do this thing at night games when it's a big game like that. They do a whiteout. And if you ain't seen it, that's freaking awesome. I love it. I think it's pretty cool. Where the whole stadium is wearing white except the visitors. But it looks badass. Yep, I agree with the Ohio going to be good. See, Cream thinks Ohio State game is going to be good. Scotty said it's not going to be good. He's thinking Ohio State's going to blow them out. You know what's crazy? So
I didn't say that. I said, I mean, I hope it's a good game. I just said if we're going to see if Indiana's for real or not.
That's true because Indiana hasn't played anybody. But the Notre Dame and Army game is going to be good. It's prime time at Yankee Stadium. Yep, that's going to be on NBC. So I actually have that game written down too. Cream, stop jumping ahead. Fuck, let me do my show. Stupid. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, that game's going to be great too. 2 games already went over, Scotty. I went over the Kentucky and Texas game, and I would just say Texas need to handle their business. Kentucky is not going to just go in there and lay down.
Yeah, they have great defense, and Texas needs to be careful.
Yeah,
with Kentucky.
Yeah, but I was saying, one thing I did say about Texas is like Texas has to go in there and not go in there, you know, but because they're coming to Austin, but they got to go and dominate this game. Get that momentum so when you go play Texas A&M, because you're going to need that going into that hostility place. Because that 12th man, that shit gets loud.
Yeah.
So, but you know, I'm not going to sit there and say, it's okay, Creek. I'm not going to sit there and say if Texas lose, they're done. But what I am going to say is I don't want that to happen. I want that this game to not only mean what it's going to mean, and already it's already going to be like tradition, all, you know, the rivalry, you know, it's going to have all that. But then now you're putting on top of that a possibility of whoever wins this game moving on to the Big 12 championship game. So imagine that, you know, that just puts more fuel on the fire. But going back to the Indiana Ohio State game, I'm sorry, I'm just jumping around. But Scotty, what do you think? Go ahead and give me your opinion on the Indiana Ohio State game.
Like I said, Ohio State's offensive line is pretty banged up. They just lost their center. He tore his Achilles at practice
today.
This week sometime.
Oh damn, that sucks.
So their offensive line is pretty banged up. Like I said, we're gonna see if Indiana's the real deal. I mean, I think they can hang with them.
Think so? There was people talking at my job, and I'm not going to mention anybody's name because I haven't asked if it was okay to use their name on the show. But there was a couple of people at my job, and they were talking about this game. They were talking about this game and how Indiana hasn't played anybody, and it's true. They haven't. They have like the 100th ranked schedule.
They beat Michigan, but I guess that's not saying too.
Yeah, it's not really.
But you gotta look at their their games, they scored 77 points against Western Illinois. They scored 42 points against UCLA. They scored 42 points against Maryland. 56 points against Nebraska. So, I mean, they've won big the games they did win.
All right, Cream put a comment here. He said, I think even if Ohio loses, they're still going to make the playoffs.
Ohio State, yeah, for sure. They'll still be in.
They're going to have two
They might
losses.
not be in the Big Ten championship, but
no, because I think Oregon already clinched the Big Ten. They already clinched the spot, and then I think if Indiana wins, that's going to clinch. Not 100% clinch it, but that's going to basically put them in the other spot.
Yeah.
So
the winner of that game, yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be Indiana, Oregon, and even now the question comes up. Okay, let's say Indiana loses in the Big Ten championship game. Are they out of the playoffs now?
I don't think.
Because you can't sit there and say, okay, you beat Ohio State, but you lose to Oregon, but we're going to keep Ohio State in the playoffs, but we're not going to keep you even though you beat Ohio State.
I think the loser of the Big Ten championship, I think, will probably still be in the playoffs.
But then you're going to have three. So you're saying you're going to have three Big Ten teams in the playoffs?
No, not necessarily.
So what I was saying,
we'll probably have 5 SEC teams.
they're kicking each other's ass.
Unless someone completely falls apart.
Yeah, it's crazy, and like again, this is what makes this new playoff system so awesome. Because if it was last year, all we would be talking about is Oregon, Ohio State, Penn State, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Ole Miss, maybe.
Yeah, there'll only be. I don't even think there'd be that many teams.
But that's what I'm saying.
Still have the 14 playoff.
Yeah, if we still have the 14 player, we'll only be talking about at least top 5, top 6 teams.
Last year,
OBS Studios got disconnected. I got reconnected. You there, Scotty?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. OBS got reconnected. I got reconnected back. Sorry about that if I got disconnected, guys. I'm not sure if y'all still there. That's just weird how I just got disconnected. Probably need to reset my router, but I'll do that after the show. But yeah, so there's so many different scenarios coming into this game. It's crazy, and it makes it fun. It makes it so much fun for me. And I like chaos, and I keep saying that. And so bring all the chaos you want. Next game. This game is it's kind of, it could be an upset alert. That's what I'm putting that out there. Penn State, Minnesota. What you got, Scotty?
Yeah, I don't think that's.
They're playing in Minnesota. Let me just throw that out there. 2:30 on CBS. But you still don't think it's an upset alert?
I mean, it could be, but
Cream said it's the government that's listening in.
Penn State's defense pretty solid.
Oh yeah, Penn State's defense is good.
Minnesota hasn't really. They don't have a great win.
Nah.
I mean, they kept close to Michigan, but they did beat USC.
Everybody's beating USC.
But, yeah, that's true. they put a pretty. They beat Illinois pretty good. They're 24 now. So.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a shot. It could be an upset.
That's probably going. Well, there's a couple of teams that got upset alert because the next game after that, I got Colorado, Kansas. Kansas is on a 3-game winning streak. Just beat BYU. So, hey, Kareem, going back to the government thing, listening in. Maybe I got the script, and they don't like the fact that I'm revealing everything.
I mean, they beat 2 ranked teams. Kansas last 2 weeks. They beat Iowa State. BYU.
Yep. You're actually. I forgot about the Iowa State game. Was the one before that? Yep. They beat Iowa State that was ranked. That's still ranked. And they beat BYU that is still ranked. Mm-hmm. And now they're going against Colorado. That's ranked.
Really close with Arizona State, too. All in the top 25.
Yep. So, but that Colorado game is going to be fun to watch. That game is at 2:30 There's a lot of 2:30 games. This
Yeah, there's
again. Let me for you guys out there, ladies and gentlemen who are out there, you ain't got nothing to do this Saturday. They're trying to silence you. It's the man trying to keep me down.
yeah.
But you can start off your day by watching the Indiana Ohio State. Boom, let's watch that great game right off the bat. Boom, and then you can turn around. You got on Fox. You can if you want to leave it on that channel. You're gonna have Colorado, Kansas, on Fox at 2:30, or you can change it to ABC. Watch Kentucky, Texas. You also gonna have that Penn State, Minnesota game, and then the next game right after, or not the next game, but another game, the BYU Arizona State. 91 BYU ranked 14th versus 8-2 Arizona State. They're not giving no Arizona State no love.
Yeah, well, I just got one more thing to say about Colorado.
Go ahead.
They can clinch a Big 12 playoff spot with the Wolves. They win, and then BYU and Utah all win. Colorado will clinch one of the Big 12 playoff spots.
Utah's playing Iowa State, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
so Iowa State and Arizona State have to lose, and then Colorado will clinch a spot.
And then
if they win.
And BYU, who are they playing next week? Can you look that up, or do you want me to look it up?
Yeah. Looks like this is their last game.
BYU's last game?
Yeah, looks like it.
Damn, they don't got 12 games on the schedule?
Oh wait, never mind. They play Houston.
Ah, they got Houston. So it's gonna really come down to whoever wins. Well, no, BYU controls their own destiny. If they just win out, they're in.
Oh yeah.
If they lose, and then Utah can, not Utah, Iowa State. Yeah, but that's gonna be weird because they're both gonna have the same record, and they both have losses in the Big 12. That's gonna be weird. I'm not sure how they're gonna decide the tiebreaker.
Strength of schedule.
Probably, and I think, shit, I don't know who has a better. We got to look into that. We got to do some research. That's not part of our game. We don't do that. We just talk sports.
Iowa State has.
Scotty's the research guy.
Iowa State has no top 25 wins.
Oh, so it's gonna be BYU then. So BYU basically wins out. They're in the
and then
Big 12.
I was looking for between Arizona State and Iowa State. Neither one of them have any top 25 wins. So. No.
Scott, my mom said, "How are you doing today?"
I'm doing good.
She said, "My bad, Scotty. How are you doing?" She normally says hi when you get on, but I guess she didn't say it this time. I see it right here. That Julian Lewis, Kareem, number 2 recruit in 2025, decommits from USC and commits to Colorado.
Yeah. I don't know. I think if Sanders leaves, that might change.
Oh, I exactly. When he said that, I was like, well, if Deion Sanders goes to Florida State, I'm sure he's going to sit there and say, well, I'm going to Florida State too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the BYU Arizona State, that game's at 2:30 on ESPN. If you have 3 TVs, you're going to have 3 different games on. You're going to have Penn State, Minnesota. You're going to have Colorado, Kansas. Or you're going to need 4 TVs because then you're going to need BYU, Arizona State, and you're going to need to watch Texas and Kentucky. 4 different games at 2:30.
Yep.
And then you got Kareem's game that Kareem says is going to be good. Is that Army Notre Dame game? That's at 6:00 on NBC.
Yeah, I think Notre Dame will.
Yeah, Notre Dame should win. But I'm all for chaos. Why not let Army win? Not let them, but why not Army win?
Well, if Army wins, Notre Dame might be out.
For sure. Kareem said Deion is not leaving Colorado. You haven't seen Florida State's offer. You don't know his life. But yeah, if Notre Dame loses, they can still make their conference championship game. Now the question is, if BYU loses their conference championship game and Army wins their conference championship game, who's getting in? Because Boise State's gonna play Tulane, right? Is it Tulane they're playing?
This week they play Wyoming.
Well, I'm talking about in their conference championship game.
They'll
Boise.
probably play UNLV.
Oh, they'll probably beat UNLV.
I think it'll be UNLV.
Yeah. So you think
Yeah.
UNLV will go into the playoffs over Army? If Army wins their conference championship game? Even if they lose to Notre Dame?
I mean, there's only going to be one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know there's only going to be one.
So if UNLV wins, then it's going to be they'll be in for sure.
So UNLV has 2 losses, correct? Army will only have 1.
Yeah.
Both of them have a conference championship, but they're still going to have UNLV because they feel like, I mean, they're right.
Army's a G5 team. Army's not.
Is Army's not independent? Army's but they're not a G5 team. Yeah.
AAC, are they?
But yes,
they're in the AAC.
Yeah, America Atlantic Conference. That's right. American Atlantic.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, Notre Dame should win. Notre Dame should get in the playoffs because after this, after Army, they got USC, and like I said, everybody's beating USC. But USC Notre Dame is a rivalry game, so you never know. USC may show up and try to beat Notre Dame. We'll see.
I mean, Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois.
Yep, the Notre Dame did lose to Northern Illinois. Yeah. Who we betting, Mom? Who we betting? So that's it for the Saturday's game that we're looking. There's other games out there that are. I'm not sure. Scotty got another game he wants to talk about.
No, not really. I mean, Alabama, Oklahoma, maybe, but
man, Alabama's going to kick Oklahoma's ass.
I don't think that's going to be much of a game.
Yeah, you can watch the first quarter and know who's going to win that game.
Yeah.
But now it's time for Scotty's segment. You ready, Scotty?
Yep.
Let's get it on.
And take a look at the top 10 of the NCAA men's basketball. There's been quite a few teams that have moved. So let's look at the top 10 here. Number 10, Kentucky. They fell 8 spots. They're at number 10 now. Number 9, we have Alabama. They fell 4 spots. Purdue they jumped. They're at number 8. They've moved up 14 spots. Marquette is rolling. They're 5-0. They jumped 15 spots. They're number 7 now. Number 6, Houston. They jumped up 7 spots. 5, Iowa State. They jumped 6 spots. And then UConn, number 4. Auburn is 3. Gonzaga is number 2, and number 1 is still Kansas at 5-0 right now.
Where are the Baylor Bears at? They were top 10.
They were. Baylor is, let's see here. They're number 15. They actually jumped up 16 spots.
How they? Because I thought they started this. I guess they started the year in the top 10. I thought.
I don't remember. I know they were in the top 25.
Oh.
Starting the year, but yeah, it says they jumped up.
Dang, 16 spots. There you go. Sick 'em Bears.
So yeah, they're 3-1 right now.
Yeah, I remember when they had that loss the other day. So, anything else, Mr. Scotty?
I do have one thing.
Yes, sir.
I posted a question on our Facebook page the other day. We had, I think, just one response from Kareem.
And the question was?
Say Texas loses one of their last 2 games. Does the 2-loss Texas make it into the college playoffs? Kareem says yes. They can get in with 2 losses. What do you think?
I think They can, but they're going to be 11, maybe 11 seed, maybe a 10 seed. They're going to be a high seed because they don't have a top 25 win.
Yeah.
I mean, yes,
I
they're
mean,
in the SEC.
their best win is Vandy.
Yeah, and they were barely in the top 25 at the time, I believe.
Yeah.
So
They're 5-6 now, I think.
yeah, they haven't been great since they beat Alabama.
I mean, I think if they lose to A&M, I don't know if they're gonna be able to make it in. Just because of the other, unless Ole Miss, Alabama, or Georgia loses another game, they would need some help. I think if they lose to A&M.
So you would need. Oh man, this is crazy because if they lose to
There's
A&M, they lose to A&M.
there's
A&M's in the playoffs. I mean, A&M's in the conference championship game,
yeah, if they win,
and then they're going to be
then
going
you got
against
most likely Georgia unless they lose again.
who's
'Cause they
Alabama
have
have? Alabama has Oklahoma,
Oklahoma this week.
and then they have Auburn. They have Auburn. So
Oh
if they
yeah, that should be easy.
yeah, so if the Alabama wins out, they beat Georgia head to head.
Yeah.
I mean,
Georgia has well, they have UMass this week, and then they have Georgia Tech. They finish off
yeah.
with
Georgia Tech they ain't gonna go sit there and lay down because they're gonna try to kick
no.
Georgia's ass.
Yeah, they want to shake it up.
Yeah, Georgia Tech is winning, by the way, 13-7. Right now with a minute and 53 left in the second quarter. But yeah, that's a good question. I'm gonna say I still think they will, but it'll be a high seed. Maybe like I said, like maybe a 10 or 11 if they're lucky. But yeah,
Yeah,
I do believe they do, like you said, are gonna need some help.
yeah,
Good
because we got
question.
5 two-loss teams, I think, now in the SEC.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
I think this is going to be an occurring thing each year for at least next 2 or 3 years because SEC is just great and they're just going to beat each other up every year.
yeah,
It's going to be tough for them to go undefeated, or any team in the SEC to go undefeated because every team in there is good, even though they may not have the great record. They got
yeah.
great players still in that team because of the SEC. So, thank you, Scotty. That was awesome. Great question.
Alright.
Thank you for the answer, Kareem. So it's time for my favorite. Oh no, wait, no, it's not. It is time for question of the day. I almost forgot question of the day. So I didn't even send this to you, Scotty. I'm sorry. Besides football,
Alright.
what else do you do on Thanksgiving? Besides watch football, what else do you do? So go ahead and type in. Oh wait, I didn't get there. There we go. Besides football, what else do you do on Thanksgiving? Go ahead and type that in the chat. Scotty, think about it. It's time to move on to my favorite segment. Put a shot on it. So I'm not going to do it Saturday night. Giving y'all heads up. It will be Tuesday's episode because like I said, I am on call this weekend, so I can't drink. So it would not be a shot this Saturday. So don't look for me on Saturday. But the first game, of course, I'm gonna go with the Baylor Bears over Houston. Ever since I've been picking Baylor Bears, they've been, hopefully I'm not jinxing it now, but they've been winning. So I'm picking Baylor Bears over Houston. Anything you got to say about that one, Scotty?
Bears or Houston? Yeah, I mean, I think they have a pretty good chance. Where is it?
It's at Houston.
At Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah. Houston hasn't done much this year,
They're
so
4-6 right now.
yeah. Yeah, they have a chance.
All right. The next game I'm gonna put a shot in. Indiana beats Ohio State. I'm going with my heart on that one. Scotty's gonna say Ohio State. But I am going with Indiana because I just love chaos, and I think that's gonna bring chaos into the mix.
Yeah, I would definitely like to see Indiana win. I think it's going to be hard.
You said it's going to be close though, right? Because there's a lot of people that I'm I'm hearing that saying that Ohio State. I think Ohio State got a 13.5 favorite.
Yeah, I think it's 13.5.
Yeah, to beat Indiana. So, but I'm going
I hear
Indiana.
uh,
I'm not
I
using
hear
the
a lot of
spread
people
straight up.
saying that.
What you said?
I had a lot of people saying that they think they're gonna cover the spread. But
Oh,
we'll
I'm
see.
going straight up. No, I'm not saying anything of the spread or anything.
Oh yeah.
My next game is Colorado over Kansas. I think I'm still on the hype train. Is Deion's both sons playing for Colorado? Yeah, Deion's son that's quarterback, and the other one's safety. The safety's younger, so the safety's going to be there next year as well. He's still got another year of eligibility or to play. But I'm going Colorado over Kansas. So I'm still on the hype train. What about you, Scotty?
Yeah, I think Colorado's been good the last. They're getting improving like each game. So
Yeah. Yep. And the last one, I'm sticking Dallas with the SMU over Virginia. But I do believe Virginia's because they're playing in Virginia. I do believe Virginia is going to be a tough matchup for SMU. But Virginia's got a pretty good. I ain't gonna say great offense, but they got a pretty solid offense, and their defense has never been. Since I've been watching Virginia play, they've always had a solid defense. So I just think that's just who they are.
yeah,
But I still got SMU.
they did beat Pitt.
Virginia.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like I said, Virginia.
Well, they were ranked at the time.
Yeah. So I'm
Yeah,
still gonna
now
go with
they're not.
SMU. I want the SMU to go to the SEC championship, maybe even make the playoffs. We'll see. But that's another question. If SMU, let's say SMU and Miami play each other in the conference championship, is a Miami 2-loss Miami gonna be in the playoffs, or is a 2-loss
Yeah.
a 2-loss SMU team gonna be in the playoffs if they lose to the champion? Let's just say this: if the ACC championship loser gonna be in the playoffs.
I don't know. I think right now I only see the one AAC team or ACC team.
Yeah,
getting
yeah. Um, so you only see one.
I think so.
I kind of agree with you there. I actually just see one. I just don't. Miami hasn't been surprisingly good. They've been winning, but they've been winning close. Clemson is being quietly good. Nobody's paying attention to them since they lost week 1 against Georgia. And then SMU has been quietly good, but their only loss was to a BYU team, and they only lost by 3. So, it's kind of hard, but at the same time, their strength of schedule is what I think is what's going to hurt them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because they don't have a lot of great teams in their conferences.
No.
So those are my 4: Baylor over Houston, Indiana over Ohio State, Colorado over Kansas, and SMU over Virginia. Is there any games out there that you want me to put a shot on? Let me know. Scotty, what you got? Let me make sure I write this down.
I was going to say Washington State, Oregon State, but Oregon State is horrible.
Their quarterback left. The best quarterback in the conference, DJ Uiagalelei. He went to Florida State and stunk up the place.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go with let's go with Iowa State at Utah.
Oh, good one. Is that Utah?
It's at Utah, yeah.
Iowa State. I'm gonna say Iowa State beats Utah. I'm going Iowa State. My mom said, "Do college football get paid for playing?" You talking about the players, or you're talking about the teams? But I'm gonna go Iowa State over Utah, Scotty.
All right.
So I'm putting the shot on Iowa State. Again, that's going to be Tuesday, not this Saturday. And by the way, I don't know if y'all heard me on Tuesday. I was 5-0 last week. Come at me. If I'm this damn good, I need to start making bets. You can't make bets. You can't make bets in Texas. But if you're not in Texas, I'm 5-0 the last 2 weeks. The week before that, I think I only had 2 wrong. So I was 3-2. One of them was Scotty. One week I was only 1 wrong, and that was one Scotty was, and I cut Scotty out. But yeah, so I actually got a winning record. I need to go back and look and see what's my record, Scotty. So next week,
Yeah.
that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back and look, and I'm gonna let y'all know my record because I started this probably week 3. So I'm gonna go back and look, and I know it's a positive because I'm freaking awesome. But so going back to the question of the day, and then we'll finish up with the last word. So the question of the day again was who's winning tonight, Steelers or Browns? Steelers are going to win. They're already up 3-0. Browns
3-0 right now. Almost at half.
It's almost halftime?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I'm going to go Steelers. I think Kareem said the Browns are going to win, but I think I'm going to still go Steelers. But
the Browns lost to the Giants and the Cowboys. So there's that.
Browns are almost in the red zone. You just never know. You
I
never
said they
know.
lost to the.
But the Browns
Cowboys.
beat the Ravens. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
But some football players get paid, Mom. Not all football players. There is 134 college football teams. This isn't just the Division One, that's Division One is the one we mostly talk about. You know, Texas, Alabama, all them. That's all Division One schools. You said Browns put a shot on it. You going Brown? Hey, I'll put a shot on it. I'm still gonna go Pittsburgh. You and Browns. So if I'm wrong, let me write that down. Pitts over Brown. Pitts over Brown. And if I'm wrong Tuesday, I will get on here and take a shot. But I ain't gonna be wrong. And I looked at this, Oscar. I got the game up at the 2-yard line. They can score a touchdown. It's okay. They're an NFL team. But what was I gonna say now? Oh, but playing. So there's 134 schools, and each school has 70 scholarships. That I think it's like that many. It's 70 some scholarships they could do with all their players. A lot of them are walk-ons that don't get scholarships. So most teams, like a big program like Alabama, Notre Dame, they'll probably have 100 players on their team. Not all of them suit up. But a lot of them are walk-ons, and they don't get paid scholarships. Scholarships basically you're getting your paying to go to school for free to play football. So that's one way they get paid. Another way is called NIL deals, is where boosters say that, hey, we'll give you this much money if you come play for our school.
I think starting next year, I believe I think it's 44 million they have.
The salary cap?
Kind of like a salary cap, yeah.
So yeah, that's something that most schools are going to be able to afford. Not all schools, I don't think, because it's going to be tough for like Kennesaw State to have $44 million.
Yeah.
So a team like that doesn't have a big names school, a lot of those players don't get paid at all. They're playing because they love the sport. This is why I love college football. Yes, and a lot of people say the NIL is hurting. It's not actually hurting anything. Like we talked about we talked about a while back. I think Kareem even brought it up too. It's actually spreading great players across all teams instead of having all great players on one team. So that's one reason Nick Saban got out the game, because he's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to sit here and try to have to fight contracts now, you know? So now, he can't just go to somebody and say, hey, come play for me because you're going to go to the NFL. That could have been his pickup. Are you going to win national champions? Because these kids don't care about that now. All they care is about the money.
Yeah, I think eventually they're going to be collective bargaining. Basically, they'll have contracts and stuff like that. I think that's going to happen down the road.
Yeah, Oscar said they had them backroom deals. It's true, and it's true. If there's a documentary called it's on 30 for 30. It's called Catholics versus Criminals or Cons, something like that. Watch that one, and there's a singer, rapper who said that he used to do that. He literally said, I used to pay these players after games they won. So
yeah.
So there was a bunch of those backroom deals, under the table, slide of cash.
Oh yeah.
So, But going back to the question of the day, besides football, what else do you do on Thanksgiving? My mom put go see Christmas lights, so she goes see Christmas lights Thanksgiving night. I know some people who go to the movies Thanksgiving night. Scotty, what else besides football, watching football, do you do for Thanksgiving?
Usually
Eat.
eat lots of food.
Yeah, I definitely eat.
Eat lots of food and watch football. That's about all I do on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, Uncle Luke. There you go. In Miami. Yep. I knew. I can't remember the rapper's name, but yeah. Um. Yeah. Same here. I just eat. Now that I'm older, now I take naps.
Well, yeah, that'll probably happen too.
Yeah, I'll take a nap in between all that eating. 2 Live Crew. Yep. But yeah, that 30 for 30 documentary. It's actually a long. I think it's 2 episodes, maybe 3, but it's a really good episode. It's really good if you haven't ever seen that 30 for 30. There's a lot of 30 for 30s that are really good. One of my favorites, I'm sure a lot of y'all watched it, was that Michael Jordan one. That one was awesome. Um, but that's our topic. But anybody else? What do y'all do for Thanksgiving besides watch football? Um, so moving right along, the last thing is the last word. Don't forget to like and sub if you ain't already done that already. We're still at 32. Don't forget to pass the word on. Let your friends know. Let your buddies know. Your girlfriend, your boyfriend. I don't care how you roll.
Yeah, don't
Pittsburgh just
forget
fumbled the
to
ball.
check to follow our Facebook page.
Yep, and on Twitter and TikTok, I put it up. I will not. That's one thing I forgot to say. I don't know if I said this on Tuesday. I know I said I was going to be gaming on here. I am actually not going to be gaming on here. I've noticed that a lot of y'all don't care about the gaming part, so I'm actually keeping that on Twitch. So if you do want to come watch me play video games every now and then, I'll still talk sports if you want. We can talk sports. We can talk music. We can talk music, and I don't know nothing about fashion. Look what I'm wearing now. But we can talk anything: music, books. I don't read books, but I don't know anybody who reads books anymore. But yeah, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Pass the word on. I forgot I didn't change this, but I had next show Saturday at 9, but it's not. It will be Tuesday. Tuesday, and it's going to be one show next week, Tuesday, because of the Thanksgiving holiday. After that, giving y'all heads up, it's going to be one show for the remaining of the year. So it's just going to be on Wednesday. So just giving y'all heads up. And last but not least, don't forget safety first and teamwork, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, children. What's Thanksgiving mukbang? I don't know what that means. Abraham, game some NCAA. I'll play some NCAA. I love NCAA. I play that all the time. Oscar said he watches movie. Cream says start a family fight over politics. That sounds like something your ass would do, Kareem.
Yep.
Your ass would start a political fight. Hey, you know what? I actually got my wife. She can tell you. One time I was watching the Cowboys game at my uncle's house, and they didn't give a shit that the Cowboys were getting their ass kicked by the Eagles. All they cared were their numbers to hit. That's all they like. Oh, I need Eagles to score a touchdown. I need the Eagles to kick a field goal. I need the Cowboys to win. I don't know what the hell. And I was like, halftime, I was like, fuck this. I said, babe, let's go. We're out of here. I'm not here to sit here and want the Cowboys to lose so that their numbers can hit. I was like, I'm sorry, but I think I'd rather have the Cowboys win than my numbers hit. I mean, that's just how I am. Watch The Godfather. That's a great movie. Such a good. The first one, right? Just the first one, or all of them? What's a mukbang? Thanksgiving mukbang. What is that? I'm scared to even look it up. Could be something inappropriate, so I'm just gonna leave it at that, Abraham. But anyway, so that's all we got for the day, ladies and gentlemen. I greatly appreciate y'all joining. A lot of y'all seem to join a little late. So y'all let me know if 7:00 is a good time for y'all. Maybe I won't go past 7:30. Start at 7:30 because I do have a daughter that needs to go to bed, and I don't want to be up here making a lot of noise, talking loud. So, but yeah, I normally start at 7. So, And then Scotty normally gets on between 7:15, 7:30, maybe a little later every now and then. But it's okay. But I appreciate y'all joining. Thank y'all for joining the chat. I love interacting with the chat. So does Scotty.
Yeah.
And like I said, Scott's the brains of the operations. I'm just here so I won't get fined. So y'all have have Ivan on the show. Man, I don't know if I can have Ivan on the show. Ivan's kind of thick-headed. He won't let me talk, and I'm the one that's supposed to be doing all the talking. No, I'm kidding, Ivan. But again, thank y'all for joining. I appreciate it. Thank you, Scotty, for joining tonight.
Yeah.
You have a good evening and enjoy your weekend. I'll see you on Monday.
All right, see you.
See ya.